Was in a cloud in the...
Through the blinds, I can see
Hi my beautiful YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. If you are new, welcome to the team. I don't know why you're here, but I'm glad you are, so I hope you stay a while. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn your post notifications on so you never miss when I upload a new video. So in this video, I want to start kind of a new series or set of videos. I was actually inspired, as I'm always inspired, by my favorite horror movie YouTuber, Possessed by Horror. She always does a what I watched in the previous month, and she does it on letterbox. So if you're on letterbox, or if you're not, you want to join it, I'll leave my link below so you can follow me on letterbox, and I'll start posting, you know, updating what movies I'm watching, my reviews, anything on that website. Because it's basically a website where you can go track what movies you've watched, and you can write your review on them. You can rate them by stars, you say what day you watched them, and it helps you keep and track what you've watched, what you thought about them. And it's like a community where people can go and read like reviews on movies that they might be interested in watching. It's actually really cool, and I didn't know about it till I saw Possessed by Horror talking about it, because that's what she bases her what she watched on. So yeah, I'm on Letterboxd. My link will be for my page will be in the description, so go ahead and follow me. Let's be friends. I will follow back, and we can talk more about movies there. So I'm gonna just go in on what I watched in January. I don't even think I really told y'all what the video was about. I went on a rant about why I love Possessed by Horror. I'm doing the what I watched in January today, because you know now it's February. I've been trying to keep track. I'm still like new to Letterboxd things, so I might forget some. Hopefully I don't, but I'll be going off my Letterboxd on what I noted that I did watch in January. I might mention some series that I've watched, because Letterboxd is basically just movies. If I can remember some series that I've watched in January, I'll throw those in there too. But I'm really just gonna go off of what movies I watched mainly and my small review on them. Nothing too in depth. If any of these videos, if any of these movies you want like an in-depth review on them, let me know and I'll do so. But I'm just really just giving like my just basic review on what I thought about what I watched in January. So if that interests you, you want to keep watching, please do so, and we're going to just go ahead and get right into the video. So the first thing that I noted that I watched in January, I watched on January 1st, was the Harry Potter Return to Hogwarts 20 years later. Now a movie, I guess to be somewhat of a documentary. It's a reunion of all of the Harry Potter cast and crew, and they talk about just the journey from the original Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone up into Deathly Hallows, and like what's going on after, and talk about the impact that Harry Potter had on culture, the community, and kids, millennials specifically, because I grew up with Harry Potter. And if you know me, I love Harry Potter. I am in Hufflepuff. Shout out to the Huffles and the Puffles. And I think I'm a true Hufflepuff. I can talk about Harry Potter all day. I've convinced my friends to watch this, and my two closest friends actually recently watched all the series. They are fans now. They really enjoyed it. My best friend was just talking to me last night. She called me when she finally finished it, and she was saying, "Thank you for telling me to watch Harry Potter. I see why it's hyped. I see why everybody loves it. I really thoroughly enjoyed it." And she had like questions, and of course I was talking about like the analysis of different things, and I want to reread all the books. Well, I stopped reading on the 4th book because it was getting bigger and I was getting older. I think I was getting like into like middle high school, and I was getting into more activities, so I had less time to like really dedicate to reading the big books. So I actually want to go and buy all the books and reread them, just to reignite my love for Harry Potter, because I really do love Harry Potter. But of course I cried. I don't know if y'all did, but I cried during the reunion because it's so nostalgic, and just to know like what was going on behind the scenes, and think just about the impact it had on me as a kid and into my adulthood is just tugged at my heartstrings. Another movie that I watched in January was Brazen. It is on Netflix. I will off top say on Letterboxd I gave it 1.5 stars. Did I really? Let me see what my review is, Chad. What did I say? Oh, somebody said even Hallmark didn't want to release this. Hold on. Where's my review at? I'm going to read my review and what I said about Brazen. It's on Netflix if y'all want to watch it. And it stars Alyssa Milano as like the main character. I said, someone called it the murder mystery version of a Hallmark Christmas romance, and I can't unsee it. The whole fall in love and wanting to risk your life after knowing each other for a few days because both of you are hot and one happens to be a cop working the mystery angle's getting so old. And I've mentioned that before. what video was it? I was talking about, if I can think of the video, I'll link it and I'll try to let you know the time where I talk about it. I was reviewing something and I was just talking about how I'm so tired of, I was talking about Malignant, of there being like a slight romance attraction between a cop and one of the characters. Like, why can't they just be platonic? Why it's always gotta be like a romantic kind of vibe going on? And I just hate that. It's always a cop working the case for someone who they're attracted to and they want to date and then they fall in love. I hate that trope so much, and I wish it would freaking stop. I said, can we ever just get two attractive characters being platonic and working together professionally? Every movie doesn't have to have a love storyline, especially if it's a thriller or horror. It doesn't have to have a love storyline. I think that just sours the movies for me personally, and I don't really like romance. I do like romance, but I'm just not, if I'm going to watch a horror or thriller, I don't want to see people fall in love. That's just not what I want to see. Another story of incompetent cops and a civilian coming to save the day. But the protagonist isn't very likable and spends a good chunk of the movie being loud and wrong and kind of annoying. Yeah. The movie gives a lot of energy to red herrings and makes you think different characters are the killer when it's painfully obvious who the killer is from their very first scene. It really was. Like, when they first got on the scene and I seen their first initial interaction, I'm like, they're the killer. They're it. And if you didn't know from when they first hit the screen, do you even watch horror movies, bro? Like, do you even watch thrillers? Do you even watch these type of movies? Like, it was so obvious. And it was obvious that it wasn't a red herring. It was obvious that that's who it was. And Alyssa Milano being sexy in this didn't do it for me. LOL. Dang, I went in on this movie. That's my review on it. If y'all want to watch it, best of luck to you. It says on Netflix. It was recommended to me. I think it was one of the top when it first came out. Probably because it was new, not because it was good. Okay, another movie, or so documentary that I watched, I actually watched it probably a couple weeks ago, was The Puppet Master. It's also on Netflix. Most things I watch are on Netflix because that's just my main streaming platform. And that was about a con man, and it's, like I said, it's a documentary, and they just follow like how he started and talks about how he got connected to these different people who he conned. And it was interesting. Somebody had recommended it because they said if you like the stupidity of the people from Abducted in Plain Sight, if y'all seen that on Netflix, you know I'm talking about how stupid the parents were. Watch The Puppet Master, you see how stupid these people were, and they were definitely dumb as hell. For lack of better words, they were dumb as hell. It just has you like just face palming and shake your head like, how can people be so stupid? Like, how did y'all fall for this man's tricks? Like, y'all really put y'all family and friends through this for this? It doesn't make sense, but it's a true story. So if you're interested in documentaries on like stupid people, watch that. I also started watching, so after I watched the Harry Potter reunion, I started watching the Fantastic Beasts because I had never seen them. Don't know why, because I love Harry Potter. I think I just always heard they weren't as good as Harry Potter, so I never had a desire to watch them. And I love the Harry Potter characters, so that kind of adds on to why I love Harry Potter so much. But they kind of mentioned it in the reunion, so I'm like, let me finally watch this. And then Newt Scamander is a Hufflepuff. He's in my house. We don't get any recognition ever anywhere else except for Cedric Diggory, who gets freaking murdered by Voldemort. We don't see much about Hufflepuffs after that. So to see the main character being a Hufflepuff is like, let me go see what this is about. And I really enjoyed it. I watched Fantastic Beasts 1 and 2. They're both on HBO Max. So if you want to watch them on HBO Max, I recommend the Fantastic Beasts. A lot of people don't like them. I really enjoyed them. I know in my previous video, well, the video where I was talking about most anticipated movies in 2022, I was talking about Fantastic Beasts 3 and how I was looking forward to that because I've created a love and enjoyment of the Fantastic Beasts series. But yeah, I enjoyed the Fantastic Beasts movies. They, like I said, they follow Newt Scamander on his journey to find Fantastic Beasts and where to find them and all the trials and tribulations he comes across. It was very interesting to see the Wizarding World in America in the first one. I thought that was really interesting, and I kind of want to like delve deeper, look more into that. I actually did the sorting quiz on which like house in the American Hogwarts I would be in, and I was wherever the equivalent to Hufflepuff was. I forgot the name of it, but the equivalent to Hufflepuff is what I would have been. Yeah, I think that's all the movies I watched in January. Nothing really came out or really caught my eye. I tried watching Scream. I kept saying I wanted to go to the theater, but I just have been too lazy. It's been kind of snowy here too, so I've been just too lazy to get out and go to the movies. I should have went yesterday since it was Tuesday and it's the discount day. As far as TV shows, I actually did a video before this, and I'm not sure if it'll be up before this or not, but whenever it's up, I'll link it in this video for you all to hear my review on those shows. But I also watched Archive 81, which is about a man who restores videotape, and he's tasked with restoring videotapes from an old apartment fire. I talk more about it in that video if y'all want to know what I had to think about that, and also asked if y'all want to do a full review on it. I can. It's real lot to unpack with that show, so I'll be happy to unpack and review it and talk about it. Also on Netflix, really good. Also watched Stay Close and Safe, which are Harley Coben series. He has a few of them, like The Innocent, The Woods. I think there's another one on there. So if you go to Netflix, look up Harley and Coben, all his series will show up. I recommend watching all of them. I've only watched The Stranger, Stay Close and Safe. I do plan on watching the other two eventually, just haven't gotten to it. They're also really good. Thriller, whodunit, detective mystery kind of shows to watch. I did enjoy those. Then I watched All of Us Are Dead, which is a Korean series. Really enjoyed that one. I definitely think people should watch that one. If you don't mind the subtitles, I would recommend you watching it in the original Korean language and just have subtitles if you want to understand exactly what they're saying. I don't recommend it being dubbed because it just doesn't, the message just doesn't relate the same. It's Korean, like Squid Game. There's actually an actress from Squid Game who, we loved her in Squid Game, but in All of Us Are Dead, you're gonna be wishing on her downfall because she is a bitch. But yeah, really good zombie apocalyptic horror series. I liked it. Go watch it. And I kind of really want to do a video on that one, so if y'all want to hear my in-depth thought about that one, I'll make that as well. And the last series I watched was, I always forget this name, The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window. It's so long because it's a satirical series, but it's so slow, really slow burn. Like I said in my previous video, watch it up to the 5th episode. Like don't stop watching it before the 5th episode. Cause I think the 5th episode is when it takes a turn and you start, like, it starts building up and you start really wanting to enjoy it more. Like, I kind of forced myself to watch the first 4. Not forced, I mean I watched it, but I wasn't dying to get to the 5th episode. But then once the 5th episode happened, I was dying to get to the last 3. Push through if you can't get into it. Push through to the end. Don't take it too seriously because it's not meant to be serious. It's a satire parody of The Woman in the Window, which is a thriller movie. Also very reminiscent of The Girl on the Train, if you've seen that. So if you like those type of movies, I think you enjoy the series and enjoy the jokiness of it. It's kind of reminds you of Scream, like how Scream is a parody of horror movies, where it's not like scary movies, like a obvious parody where it's all jokes. Scream has like those horror elements and still like makes fun of horror. It's kind of like that. I think that's how I would compare it to, where it actually has a real mystery storyline that you can follow, but it's supposed to like poke fun and jokes at those type of movies and shows. So that's my thought on that. I also watched Encanto probably like 5 times in January, added on to the other 20 times I watched it in December from when it first came out on Christmas Eve. Like, I love this movie. If you have not seen Encanto, what are you waiting for? It's so good. I guess The Woman in the House Across the Street, technically I watched it in February. I'm gonna count it as January because it came out in January and I watched it February 1st and 2nd. We're gonna count this what I watched in January. Oh, I didn't even realize I watched this in January. I also watched Don't Look Up. That came out like in December, so most of y'all probably already seen it. But it's the movie about the meteor coming to crash into the earth, and it's Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. She's from my city. How did I forget her name? And they're trying to like warn the country. Nobody's believing them. Another satirical movie poking fun at like society and government and how we react to serious situations in our country. But I think that's all I watched in January. If y'all like this series, let me know, and I'll keep track of what I watched in February and March and April and all the months and keep these videos going. Don't forget to go to letterbox, create your account if you don't have one already, and follow me so we can be friends, and I'll follow back and we can review movies together and recommend movies, because I'll see what you've watched, you see what I've watched, see my reviews. Like I said, it's a community of other movie lovers, so that's what I want to build. So thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, stay beautiful.
Show me how you feel inside. If that's mine, then tell me that's mine. Somebody must have shown you how to ride, 'cause you do it right. You not too wild with it. I take my time with it. Baby, you should let me love you slow.